Yeah, you can do that one.
Yeah, you got Olin Salen.
Olin Salen. There's always one.
Yeah.
From Bettendorf, he's in lane 6. Blom is in lane 7 from Marshalltown. And rounding out our final heat of the 500 is Alt from Fort Dodge. So, Don, real quick, you've been talking about a few guys. Let's get them started, and then we'll ask that question. So, talking about a few guys and where they're going to school, a couple of them are juniors. So what's the process there? You know, like at what point are you making a decision about where you're going to school?
You can make a verbal commitment your junior year, and you can do some on-campus visits now. The NCAA's changed some of those rules the past couple of years. So you can do a verbal commitment, and then you sign usually either the spring or either the fall or spring of your senior year. There's a signing period in the fall that you make it official, or there's a signing period in the spring. So a lot of these guys, they'll take the junior day visits in the spring and then maybe do their official visits in the fall. You're allowed up to 5 official on-campus visits paid for by the schools. And those, generally, you try to narrow it down at least to your top 3. I recommend like a lot of my kids take at least 3 to get a good feel for the teams. Your leader at the 100 here, that's your fastest qualifier, Jacob Pins out of West Des Moines Valley. 51.6 to the feet. Jacob, interestingly enough, he got 10th at Junior Nationals West in the mile. He broke 16 minutes in that event race. And he went a 4:29 in prelims at the Junior National meet. So he didn't get a second swim there, but he's coming in here with the best time of 4:29 in his back pocket from that University of Texas pool.
So this is a sprint for him.
Yeah, this is the lower end. He's good at the 2, but he's a sophomore. He's not a big guy. He's usually pretty good at the back end of the 500, and then his real strength, I think, obviously is the 800 and the mile and the longer races. So, and he's always liked those, which kind of comes into his planning for this. He used to just hang out and sprint the last, part of this race, like the last 200. One of the things I worked on when I coached him was getting that middle 200 a little faster, and he started sneaking sometimes under 440 with that. Right now he's holding 27.5, looking pretty comfortable. Got a good race for second there with Fisher from Ames.
And Gorman from Pleasant Valley.
And Fisher actually has beaten Jacob in 200s and 400s in long course, like during the season. So,
what's the training difference like? Because the high school season is, you start in November, you finish here in February. What's the training like when your longest event for 3 months is the 500 when you're a miler?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you have that junior nationals, you have to go to that in the middle of December. So your high school season.
So you're still training for that anyway.
So your high school season might be a little shorter. And then Christmas break, a lot of these teams overload. They do a lot more volume when school's out. They get that aerobic base under them. So it's not a whole lot of difference depending on the team. I mean, some team philosophies might come into play between the club coach and the high school coach, but generally, you're looking at like Jacob. I don't think he went down very much in volume, except for the fact that he's got more frequent meets, like the high school dual meets and invites are just happening more frequently than with the club season. He's looking really good here, though. I think he picked up his kick there, 26s now. So I think he got 4th last year out of an outside lane. I think his plan today is I don't want to be stuck in lane 1. Yeah, he was in lane 8, I think, last year.
Again, we've mentioned the importance of not being in 1 or 8 tomorrow, because of that, the wake that you're going to get out of there.
Yeah, Fisher's looking pretty good. Jacob's not really working his breakouts right now. He's throwing his kick in the middle of the pool. I think so he's back up to 27. So he made his statement. I think he's not shutting it totally down, but he's back down to like 85%, which is going to save some for tomorrow in his relays.
And we had mentioned that this is the first prelim finals format since the 80s.
Yeah.
But most of these guys are used to prelims finals.
All these club guys,
so
all these
they know the
YMCA. If you get past the state level, it's prelim final meets.
They know the ins and outs of what I have to do. Prelims finals.
Now, I'm keeping an eye on Gorman here. He was seated 439 last weekend, 438, right around there. He's got a little bit left, but Fisher and Pins are having pretty good swims.
Pins is going to be your top seed tomorrow.
Yeah. 27-4 coming home. That'll be your top seed. Backed off a little bit. 27 flat, so Fisher didn't back off at all. He actually picked it up. 437.57. That's a good drop from last weekend.
And that should be probably enough to avoid
Gorman,
1 or 8 for Fisher.
Yeah, Gorman, 444. That might end up in the middle of the B final. We'll see how the other times shake out here, but
Well, Fisher's going to be 6th
Yeah.
with that 37.